Alright, guys, so give me a rundown of last session.
Um, I may be brain farting, but we had the history, right?
We had the history lesson,
Yeah,
and
that's right.
Lucille was getting all uppity about how she's being treated and why she
Yes,
didn't need to be here
Lucilia,
Right.
yes.
for the wrong reasons.
Yes. And then we went on a walk around the place after class. And after we did a bit of walking, we ended up going back for dinner or lunch. Oh, wasn't it lunch? And then
Yes,
after that,
lunch.
yeah, after that, then we found the arcade basically,
Mhm.
and played in the arcade for the rest of the evening.
Yes, you spent most of the night in the arcade.
I came up with a great idea to make Lawrence or that we all back Lawrence for
Yes.
Class rep.
Yeah,
I
everyone
might be
seemed behind that.
just because
Eh.
like I realized his power. I think he was like he had birds like stalk and report our location on his way to here. Creepy.
You don't know if he did that specifically, but I guess you can think that if you want.
Oh, that's what I believe.
That's what you believe. That he just has birds watching people.
Everywhere.
Yes.
I suspect all birds now.
If you see a bird, you're either gonna run away or kill it.
Lucky for him.
Alright, and you are all heading into the building to rest for the night. However, before you go into the building, all of you are there except I believe it was Sora, Leon, and I don't think Max was there either, and Lucilia and Vera were not there. So
Dang,
just
is Max still out from the freaking numbness?
you haven't seen him.
Check.
Uh, you don't know. He's a sneaky one. Maybe he's already here. Maybe he just decided to sleep in the cafeteria. He just woke up and decided, you know what, this is fine. You
This
don't
is-
know.
We still
This
have
is fine.
sandwiches to finish.
Yes.
That's true. Now soggy tuna sandwiches. Anyway, before you guys head inside, Isabella stops walking. It takes you a second to notice that she stops walking, but when you turn around, you just see her staring up at the roof. And then she asks, "Would it hurt to fall from up there?"
Who is? Wait, is
Isabella the fire
Isabella, the little girl.
The little girl.
Oh,
Yeah, I'd say probably so. You don't ever want to fall from up there.
You see emotion on her face for the first time. You see her frown slightly, and she just says, "I don't want anyone to fall from up there." She just stares for another second and starts walking.
Well, I don't want anyone to fall from there either. I'll follow her in.
All right. Well, you all go to your rooms and find sleep in your own time, I guess. The next morning comes around. Karu, I assume you wake up at the delightful hour of 4-ish.
yeah, 4:15, something like that.
Yeah, all right. Go ahead
Although, how
Huh?
late did we get? How late did we go in though? Is the thing.
Oh,
We
not.
were there for a while.
I'd say you got it back around 9:30 or 10-ish.
Okay, that's not too bad. That's gonna be a little rough though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
about 7 hours of a solid sleep. but you know, you're used to training long nights and waking up early for more training, so it's just another trial. However, go ahead and give me a mind check.
Okay.
Alright, that'll do it. As you're walking out of the lobby, or in the lobby to your area of the hotel, you notice there's just one chair knocked over, and you don't remember anyone knocking it over.
Like, is this on the roof or on the floor that I'm at?
On the floor that you're at, it's just a chair tipped over. You don't know if someone knocked it over in the night going to a bathroom, or if it's always just been knocked over and you haven't noticed. You don't.
Well, I'll put it back.
All right. And you head up to the roof and you begin your training. You wait for Leon for a few moments, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Around 15 minutes, you decide he's probably just not going to show because he doesn't seem to be here. So you just begin your training on your own.
Okay.
Is there anyone else that's waking up in the time between 4 and 8?
Uh,
You might
between
first.
4 and 8. Yeah, probably. Probably around 6, I think.
6, alright.
Me, I'd be like 7-ish.
7-ish. Oh, so you're waking up early.
Yes, early for me. If it's not necessary. I don't have a job or anything.
You're making yourself look pretty for a certain large-armed someone.
No. Why would I do that? It's not like I like him or anything, Baka.
Alright.
Fuck, Gaijin.
Well, if you
Blushes.
guys do nothing in particular over the course of this time, Karu's just training. Eventually he goes back to his room and gets cleaned off or something. Around 8 comes around and you hear the announcement. Class will be held in 30 minutes. Everyone please prepare. If you guys wanted to say before this that you want to get together and gather in the lobby and go out to eat or something, you can.
Grab a little something. That sounds like
Yeah.
a good idea.
Yeah.
Probably get breakfast beforehand.
All right. Well, are you guys gonna meet up in the lobby?
Unintentionally, I will. Oh.
Unintentionally, we just happen to be walking towards breakfast around the same time.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It seems like around 7:30-ish. Megumi is just kind of sitting in the lobby, writing in her notebook. Lawrence comes down. He sees Megumi there, and he's just like, "Oh," and he silently sits in the lobby chair across from you, and he seems to be drawing something. It's this very nice Zen moment where neither of you wants to talk to each other or starts up a dialogue, and you just mind your own business, and you love it. You finally someone doesn't pester you.
Feel like
Also, Karu around this time ends up in the lobby, as does Akiho and Chiho.
Good morning.
Morning.
And the morning's ruined. Chiho's present. Morning, everyone. What I did wake up. I want a pretty roll. Let me see.
A pretty roll.
I gotta
Ju-
be pretty.
Judas comes out of the elevator as well. The teacher.
Oof.
You still have a little bit of morning hair, but it's cute on you.
God, rough.
Judas comes down and you see him give a big exaggerated stretch and he says, "Ah, well, you guys are up early, ready for gym class?" He says with a smirk.
Gym class?
I'm not sure gym is my best topic, but it seems like it could be fun. What are we doing?
Oh, you'll see.
I don't like the sound of that.
I wonder
say
if it'll
that
be
out
something
loud.
like dodgeball.
He just shrugs with his hands up and he says, "I don't know."
Well, all right. I can't wait.
All right, so I guess all of you decide to go together for breakfast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey guys, how about we all get breakfast?
Yeah. I guess. I say trying to feign like disinterest, but I actually don't want to eat alone. It's pretty obvious to read.
I would definitely need to eat.
Used to you all by now.
All right. Well, let's
Judas
go get some breakfast.
Judas jumps in a chair and he says, "You kids go ahead. I've got stuff to work on for class." And you see him pull out a little notepad and he starts jotting notes down. Although he seems pretty carefree, he seems serious about his job at least.
That's good.
All right. So,
He's already judging opponent, everyone. Gosh, dang it.
how did you know?
Just a guess.
Roll a warrior etiquette.
Oh my
Or,
gosh.
yeah,
So, yeah, warrior etiquette.
So etiquette. Okay.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible.
Uh,
Sorry,
with a
I'll-
10, I'll say that you know, yes, that is what he's doing. He's looking
What's
at
he doing?
everyone and judging them. You don't know
Judging?
you don't know if he's doing it for fighting skill or just physical, aptitude, but he's writing notes on everyone, you assume.
Uh-huh.
All right. So you guys head out the door and there's gonna be a music shift. All right. And the scene as you walk out the door, it's not quite what you expect. Megumi, you're actually the first one that walks out the door, walking ahead of everyone, trying to be distanced so you don't get prodded. Your heads are forward, your eyes are forward, but there's something in front of the building that for a second you don't really realize what it is, but a moment passes and you can tell it's obviously someone. Hold on. All right. Back to where I was. You see the form of a person laying on the ground. You take a few steps closer, and that's when you see the reddish brown stain all around where the head should be. It doesn't take you long to realize, especially with how big this form is. There's only one person this could be. Seems that Leon is laying there. His head seems to be smashed. His
I'm going
body
to
is
scream. I
Oh,
can't
God.
move.
his body is crumpled in unnatural ways. Everyone, you can't see this. It seems like Megumi is just standing at the door and you just hear her scream.
Uh,
A very shrill, high scream of terror.
Like, yeah, I'm completely terrified and shaken.
what? What's the matter?
You rush outside, open the door, and you see the scene of gore just over the sidewalk. You see a few birds fly off from around this figure as soon as you open the door, the sound alerting them and them flying away. And you just hear Lawrence in the background. You hear Lawrence in the background. Food? What do you mean food? What do you mean breakfast? And then he walks out and and you just say, you see him start shaking and backing up. Said, no, no. And you see him run back into the lobby, screaming slightly.
Oh, God.
I like weakly try and say Leon's name.
There's no response. Around this time, Judas runs over and he said, What happened?" He looks concerned over everyone and then he looks over at what everyone is staring at and he says, "Oh, oh no." And he turns around and starts running towards the stairs, yet saying, yelling, not Giovanni. Dang it! I do it every time. God dang it, Gustav, Gustav. And you see him head up the stairs. He doesn't even take the elevator. Karu, what are you doing?
Um, I don't know that I know how to respond to this.
You just sit there silently with your eyes wide. Chiho falls to her knees beside Megumi, crying.
I'm gonna cross
Sit.
slowly and try and touch just the shadow. I know it's like laying on the ground, so it has to be like really close, but
Easily doable enough.
no mind there, I assume.
Nothing.
He's really gone.
Chiho is on the ground with her hands on the ground, just crying, saying, muttering something like, "No, no, not again. Why?"
I just try to reach for Chiho. I just say, don't look.
She turns around and just hugs you and just says, "Please let this be a dream."
Just I hug her back and just I don't know.
You hear a commotion coming from the stairs and you hear, what is going on? Judas, what's with all the racket? And you hear Sappho say, "Is this another one of your jokes?" And he says, "No, no, you've got to see this. No, it's it's horrible." And you Judas comes through towards where all of you are, and he says, "Move out of the way, move, move," and he kind of clears you guys out of the way. And uh, right as Gustav is about to say something else, he just stops in his tracks, and he just says, "My God." You see Sappho put her hand over her mouth and stifle a scream or a gasp or something. Gustav looks around to everyone and he says, "What happened?"
He's gone. Leon's gone.
Did did anyone see it happen?
Gone.
I just make eye contact and shake my head no, and then go back to just consoling Chiho.
She's still sobbing. The Gustav just mutters something to himself and walks over and leans over to Leon's body. It's not a pretty sight. Any face he had would be unrecognizable at this point. Gustav goes over and and he touches Leon's arm. You assume he's feeling for a pulse or something, and you just hear him whisper under his breath, "Cold." He stands up and looks around, and he says, "How could this have happened?" And he looks up at the top of the building, and he says, "He must have jumped in the middle of the night."
What? Immediately looking at the little weirdo if she's
She's
around.
not there. Gustav and the other teachers seem to be in a daze for a moment. And then suddenly it seems like Gustav snaps out of it and he says, "You, all of you, you shouldn't be here. You shouldn't see this. Go back to your rooms. Go, now!" And he kind of commands you all to go, to leave. And he starts ushering you away.
I'm going to listen because I'm angry, but I'm wanting a little bit of respite from this heavy ass scene as well. So an adult taking charge of this shit is totally welcome. And I listen.
Alright, so you go back up to your room. Or at least in the lobby. What about the rest of you? Chiho starts to get up, but she doesn't seem steady on her feet, Akiho. So if you were going to move, you would have to basically do the injured soldier thing on her where she's across. She's got an arm across you and she's just walking out staggering. What about
Yeah. I would just at least bring her to the lobby. Just
By the way, Akiho, if you wanted to do a medicine check on what you saw there, you could, but maybe you don't exactly want to analyze that in a logical fashion, but it's up to you.
no, I just didn't want to look at the
Yeah,
blood and everything too closely. It's
Karu, what about you? What are you doing? Megumi seems to have staggered into the lobby, and she seems very tense, angry, uh, in disbelief.
Hot mess of emotion.
Akiho seems like she can not Akiho, Chiho seems like she can barely stand. Akiho is talking her back into the room. What about you, Karu? Oh, also, Lawrence fled. You can see him in the corner of a room, just kind of clutching his knees, with his head buried in his knees.
Who? Sorry, say that one more time.
Lawrence,
bird guy.
bird guy.
Bird boy.
So
He's
he's
just
not moving.
he's rocking back and forth in a corner.
I guess I should help him up. Take him into the lobby. That way he's not here around the teachers.
They were calling him food. Leon's not food though.
Yeah, not the single serving one. No, the concentrate. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like the items we inserted today. Yeah.
David, we can hear your roommates quite clearly.
Yeah, I went to just kind of move my door closed.
Okay.
I don't want to close it all the way because it gets too warm in my room, but
All right, understood.
That being said, I do.
So Lawrence says that, and he whispers, "Stop talking! Stop talking!"
I'm going to, if no one's doing anything, I'm gonna just look around, but not like, just the immediate area, like around me, if Isabella's here.
She is not.
She knows something. I just say she knows something. Like, out loud.
she
She knows something.
she talked about it, right? Just the night before.
Yep. I didn't think much about it, but this morning when I woke up, there was a chair knocked over on the top floor. I don't know if that had anything to do with it. If it is, then that means that it happened either very late last night or extremely early this morning. He was with Sora, was he not?
Yeah,
They said they were gonna go to the gym. They asked me, but I'm not really that strong. And you see Lawrence just start crying whenever he says that.
and a chair. What did?
There was a chair knocked over on my floor this morning when I got up around 4:15. I didn't think much of it at the time, and Leon didn't show up, but I figured he worked out late, so he was just tired. So I didn't really think much of that.
Chair. The chair is nothing. She knows. She knows. Otherwise, she wouldn't have said anything. Where is Isabella?
Chiho just whispers slightly. You've never seen her not smile or not be loud, but she just whispers sullenly. Maybe she's still in her room with her head in her hands, just leaning on the couch.
I cross my arms looking at Karu and Akiho. Well, are we gonna go ask her?
I should point out that unless you have asked, you don't know exactly which floor she's on.
Right.
I know. I'm
I don't know
still
where the
talking
floor
in
is at.
distraught.
Yeah.
You do recall that with the large display Sora made at the beginning,
Sora's on 5. That's right.
he's at, wait, is he on 5? I think he's on 6.
It was
It was floor
like
6.
2 or 3 floors away from her. That's all.
Yes. He was on floor 6, as you recall, so was Leon.
Okay.
You see Gustav now not run, but swiftly walk back behind the receptionist desk. Only about 5 or 10 minutes have passed since this whole ordeal. He doesn't even look at you as he passes, but he goes behind the receptionist desk and he presses a button and grabs a mic and he says, shakily, "Attention all students. Class today is canceled. Please stay in your rooms. I repeat, class today is canceled. There will be an assembly later today." And he just walks back out the door.
Should we tell the professors about Isabella?
Chi
think
Chiho
that's
doesn't
fair.
say anything, but she nods.
We can all just ask her ourselves, which will be faster.
Lawrence says, "We don't know what floor she's on."
We also don't have enough information. I mean, sure, she said one thing, but that doesn't mean, like, she did that. Look how small she is. Look in the state that Leon was. I doubt that's something she could have done.
I'm trying to think, and then it kind of just does get to me. Like, I didn't see him burned or anything like that, or like that he was singed or anything.
And he was so strong.
Right.
Your
Oh,
shadow.
now I say it. Oh, he's not
Al-
burned.
although, Megumi.
Yeah.
Although your shadow is reveling at the despair in the room, it's deeply uncomforted by how it is affecting you, and although you know it feeds on despair in some way, you also know that it counts you as its number one priority. So anything that upsets you, even if it benefits it in some way, is not enjoyable in any circumstance. It is whispering things in your ear, things like, get the girl, or like, protect yourself, or he was weak, he did it to himself. It's just going back and forth. It doesn't know what's going on. It's going back between go kill the girl before she kills you, or Leon was just weak. He killed himself because he was weak.
I've been upset forever. Can't I take all this? As I'm trying to like think coherently.
What are you trying to do?
I'm going to see if I can like try not to clutch my like the sides of my head and just say shut up.
That's a fairly easy thing to do.
Okay.
So if you would have gotten a 9, let's say, you wouldn't have, but Megumi looks very distressed, guys. She's shaking a little and she rocks back and forth slightly, but then again, so is Chiho.
He's not burnt, but she knows something, even if it's not her fault. She may have seen something, but we don't know what floor she's on. So either she knows or she's next. Right?
Lawrence quips up. We could ask what floor she's on. He points at the door.
Which door does he point at?
The front door, where all
Yes.
the teachers are standing around. You see them moving around, and they seem to be. It seems like Judas ran off somewhere, and it seems like Gustav and Safra are talking and generally standing in front of the door, blocking view.
Well, I'm gonna go up to the top floor. I want to see if Lucille heard anything in the night, and see if I can get any information off of her. And I'm also gonna check the roof for other things that may have noted to how he fell or jumped. I don't know.
Something I can. Do you let us know what that you're doing?
Yeah, I'm saying that out loud.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, that's something I can help with, I guess. Someone, I may have. This is where I look at you like, right, and like seriously, Karu. I may have some experience with this in investigating a scene.
Then that would be more helpful.
Yes. Chiho, would you? No, where's actually? Hold on. Where's Lawrence right now?
He's sitting across from you next to Megumi.
Okay. Chiho, why don't you and Lawrence stay here? Megami, Karu, and I think we're gonna go look into something.
She grasps your sleeve before you try to walk off, and with tears in her eyes, she says, "Don't leave me. I don't want any more friends to leave me."
I mean, I think the two of us could be fine if you want to stay here.
Yeah.
Chiho just says, "Wherever you're going, stay here or take me with you."
Should we take Chiho? I don't think we can leave Chiho or Lawrence alone.
Are you
Right.
gonna babysit them?
Lawrence just shakes his head and he says, I'll be fine."
We shouldn't. I don't know. Separating doesn't seem like the best of ideas.
I
At
can
least
go
not
with you guys.
singling out.
I can go with you, Karu. We can go up to the roof. Maybe the bird saw something, I don't know.
All right. Well,
All right,
let's go then.
we can all go.
All right, so what are you doing? Karu, Megumi, and Lawrence are going to the roof. What about Akiho, Chiho?
We'll go with them.
Okay then. So, Karu, you were planning on going to ask
Lucille if she heard anything in the night.
Lucilia, and
If
alright.
Vera may have noticed anything since they are on the same floor.
Alright, well, do you want to do that with everyone else, or do you want to make a stop and have everyone meet you on the roof, or what? What's the plan?
If they want to come with me, they can. But if they want to just go ahead and go to the roof, that's fine too.
Alright, are you guys going with him?
Yes.
Yeah.
Chiho is going wherever Akiho is going. Lawrence is kinda just blindly following Karu right now.
Just I hate to admit it, we're doing the hero at the.
Alright, well, as you approach the door, you're not really sure which room it is. There's four rooms to a floor, but
Well,
they
I know
just
it's not my room.
you know it's not actually. Karu, you would probably have seen which room they went into, so you would know room number one, which is the first room on the elevator when you get out on the right, would be uh, would be Lucilia's room, and number two, which is right next to it, would be Vera's. So you approach door number one, and you hear talking coming from inside the room. You hear Lucilia say, "Huh, I wonder what that announcement could have been about." And Vera says, "I don't know, madam. Perhaps something happened." And then you hear Lucilia say, "Vera, yes, madam? We're alone. You know you don't have to. Have to what, madam? Be so formal." And there's a silence for a second, and then Lucilia says, "What happened? Why? We used to be. You used to be my closest friend, and now you seem so distant." And Vera says, "Ever, I, I'm, I'm sorry. It's just ever since I started working for your father, just didn't seem appropriate." And Lucilia says, "Well, it's just us here. We don't have to worry about father or his business. At least not now. So call me Issa, or Luke. Call me Luca like you used to when we were kids. When, or at least when it's just the two of us." And Vera's like, "I, I don't know if it-" And then Lucilia says, "Vera, how long have we known each other?" And Vera says, "I don't ever remember not knowing you." And Lucilia responds that, "Well, there's your answer. We're friends, aren't we?" Vera says, "Of course, you're my only friend, my best friend." Uh, Luca, she says very awkwardly. And then you're hearing all of this through the door. It seems to be a very personal exchange.
I'm gonna knock.
It's
We just
quiet.
stopped at the door to eavesdrop.
Yeah. You heard talking and you didn't bother making yourself known.
I want to knock on the door to make it, look like someone just, knocked.
There's a silence for a second. An awkward silence, you feel. It feels like you've been in the room the whole time, and so all of you feel awkward as well. And then there's a slight, you hear from Vera, "Who is it?"
Morning, it's Cairo.
Do we know a Kairu? He's the one, the muscly one with the sword, correct? You hear whispery, you hear whispers, and you hear Lucilla say, "Ah, yes, yes, that one, the one who, the one looking to join my company. Okay, yes. Open the door. Perhaps he wants an interview." And you hear footsteps approach the door,
Mhm.
and then the door opens. And Vera's standing there, kind of blocking the door, and she sees all of you.
I will bow and I'll be like, "Greetings. There's been a bit of a situation. I figure you've heard the intercom, correct?
She just nods.
Did either of you hear someone around here last night? Probably late last night, early this morning.
She just raises an eyebrow. Hold on a second. Hmm.
Probably before 4, if you were awake that early.
Let me do some rolling.
I will be right back. I'm gonna grab a bowl of curry.
Okay.
Fascist.
Very Japanese.
Vera shakes her head and she says, "Is that all?" And you hear Lucilla in the background. "Well, does he want an interview or not?" And Vera turns around and she says, "No. It seems like he brought his coterie with him as well."
I don't know if you care, but there's been a student found dead on the premises. I'm saying that out loud.
Yes, thank you. I say thank Karu for just being out with it.
Vera turns and looks at you with a serious expression. "Excuse me?"
You remember Leon, correct?
There's a silence for a moment, and she says, "Describe him."
I'm
The
visibly
tallest
angry at
one
this
of
shit.
all of us.
Ah, yes, yes.
His body was found in the front.
Vera, what's going on over there?
We're wondering if either of you had heard or saw anything last night, because it seems to have occurred last night, before I woke up at 4.
Would you like to come inside? Vera says, standing beside the door, or stepping aside from the door.
It's up to you for spending time here.
Where is Akiho?
This isn't a time for tea. I'm just going to say to her, like, disrespectfully. She's like literally like, "Oh," and inviting us in and shit, like we're gonna have fucking tea about it. And she forgot his name. Um, my fists are clenching again.
To discuss what happened. I would like to know the details.
Could we discuss it on the roof?
She raises an eyebrow. And she says, "The roof? Lucilia has walked up at this point and says, Vera, what on earth is going on? And she whispers in her ear also, along with whispering in the ear. By the way, Akiho, are you back?
Sorry about that. Yep.
Okay, she invited you inside. They
Okay.
said no, or at least they are implying no.
I'm compromised. I'm renegotiating.
Yeah. All right then. I'll
Wait,
just
let's
stand by
see.
whatever.
It is Akiho, Karu, Chiho, and Lawrence and Megumi. Okay, that's
Me.
enough for all of you. Roll a mind check. If you have mind shield, let me know and private roll it to me. Oh, such a bad roll. Haha, better than you guys. Hold on a second.
My mind is filled with rage and all this
Your mind is filled with rage.
nicety bullshit when we have something to do.
All right, everyone. Uh, we're going to we're going to go into game 2 one at a time, or game 1 rather. All right, Megumi, you first. So, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking, like, I just want to grab her by the collar and just drag her out. Let's get on with this. Let's get on with this.
All right.
Let's,
Are
yeah.
are images of Leon also in your mind?
Yes.
Okay.
Leon and images of what I've never been to the roof of him like falling off of like some kind of roof landscape.
All right. I see. Back to general.
Point.
All right,
Yeah.
Karu, your turn.
All right.
So, what are you thinking right now? Just general surface thoughts.
Well, since we were literally just talking about the body, that's the thing I
That is
think.
the thing on your mind. All right.
Yes.
Anything else like images of what you think happened or thoughts of her,
Of
of the people?
Lucille or Vera?
Yeah, Lucille, Vera, are you thinking about finding Isabella at all? Just things like that.
Uh, my thoughts would be: it seems that
Just
Isabel.
generally focused on the conversation at the moment.
Yeah, focused on the conversation, focused on the thinking about the body, thinking about whether he fell or got pushed off,
Thinking
or
maybe
if he
also
was
thinking
convinced.
we need to find the little girl. She said something.
She predicted.
Okay.
I don't know that she did anything, but it just seems.
House. Why didn't I?
Oops, I pressed the wrong button. My bad. Uh, but are you? She's not directly on your mind right now. The little girl.
No.
Okay. Back to general.
Oh, they won't let him leave until.
All right, Akiho, your turn. All right. You feel your mind being probed, uh, as if someone is trying to get in there somehow. You've never really. You had this feeling once before of your mind being probed, but also failing. You don't know the exact nature of it, but you assume it's to read your mind. But once again, they're getting nothing. So someone in your vicinity is trying to can probe the minds of others.
Okay. Someone.
All right. Lucille Vera whispers in her ear and she looks at all of you and she says, I see. So that's what happened. From the roof, huh? This is not something I wanted to start my day with. However, I understand this situation. She rests her eyes on you, Akiho. And she just stares at you for a second and says, I am willing to accompany you to the roof. Perhaps this Leon would... Perhaps we will find something on this Leon. It is truly a tragedy.
That's putting it mildly.
Yes, it is. You see her frown. You guys can give me a soul check if you want to give her a get a feel for her.
Yeah.
For
Lucilia.
Lucille? Okay.
Just a soul.
Dang, that's a good roll.
That is a good roll.
Shit roll. I'm so distraught. My rolls are
Mine's
shit.
not great.
Akiho, she seems distressed, but she doesn't really know how to express it, but she also doesn't seem... She seems steeled to it, in a way. Which is odd. Why would someone be, not quite distraught by someone's death? But it's odd, but she seems genuinely saddened, even though she's not expressing it quite as openly as yes.
Okay.
Perhaps she's just keeping a strong face. You don't know.
Okay.
In my opinion, she doesn't give a fuck.
In your opinion, she does not. You can always reach out and touch her shadow. Well, you are touching her shadow, but you can feel it and try to read her mind. You don't care. All right.
I don't. Fuck. She forgot his name. He was a gentle Baka Gaijin.
And now he's gone.
Yeah.
Well, are we going to the roof, or are we going to stand here all day? Lucilia says.
I exhale to that one.
Yes, we're going to the roof to investigate.
She turns to you, Megumi, and she says, I know you think I do not care, but it is quite the contrary. You are all valued classmates, and it saddens me to lose any of you.
I turn without a word and follow Karu.
You see her give a glance to Vera. And she will follow you out if you guys leave.
Since you've been on the roof, I guess you're taking point, and I'm like right behind you. Go forth, my shonen hero.
Yes, that is quite early for you to wake up for training, I must say, Lucilia says.
She's saying to me.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, it is as early as it normally would be.
Let me see something here. Yeah, that's the right sheet. Okay.
Just body. I don't know why it's a booty.
Rolled a booty check.
Ooh.
You suspect, Lucilia says, that someone was in our halls last night, she says to all of you.
Well, yes. Karu found a chair. The chair knocked over.
that would explain it. I did wake up to a thump in the nights, though I figured it was just you. She indicates to Karu, you stumbling around at night or this morning. I don't know. I did not look at the clock.
Well,
To go ahead.
we're gonna see if we can figure out about when or how it happened. So,
To the roof
you-
then.
if you can help, it would be appreciated. But
I will endeavor. Well, all of you cram into the small elevator. Your skill. Okay, hold on a
Yeah, let me
second.
know.
Go to game one.
Yeah, just let me.
Which skill?
My police forensics.
Okay, I just had to make sure. I was like, wait a
Remember?
second. Like, does he have some kind of ability I don't remember giving?
No, it's just
All
it's
right,
just my skill because
going
I've
back
seen
to
some shit.
general. Going back to general.
Lel.
All right, so all of you get onto the roof, and you're on the roof. Let me know what
So-
all of you are doing.
I would like to
Megumi,
investigate-
in a moment, your time to shine will come.
Excellent.
probably try to investigate the side that he was on, since that'd be where it had probably happened.
All right. And is anyone else doing anything differently, or are you just going over to the side?
I'll bring. I mean, I'll go over with Chiho, but I'll make sure we don't get too close to the edge because I don't want her to see anything again.
Right.
She doesn't want to. As you approach the edge, you feel the grip on your shoulder, because she's walking on her own now, but she's clinging to you in comfort.
Mhm.
Her grip gets a little tighter on you as you approach.
Around that time, I'll stop. I don't want to take her too far.
So the scene you see on the roof, basically at the edge, there is a small little rail with about a foot and a half past the rail where there's a ledge. So, Megumi, let's go to game one.
I'm in.
Alright, time to do some rolling. Give me some forensics rolls.
Yeah. Do you want me to whisper them?
You don't have to.
Okay, I didn't think so. They'll probably laugh as I do it. Damn. Alright, so
Oh, dang.
I'm distressed.
8.
But still,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to say, since that you've read books or something on this, or you've watched a lot of noir or something, that I'm not real sure how you came to acquire these talents. But
Hanging around in books. It's like varied shit.
yeah. Alright, so go ahead and roll another.
There we go. That's my girl.
Alright, so as you're walking up there, I'm just going to say that you had quote unquote advantage on this.
Huh.
You don't know. Because of the first roll, you're not able to determine any times or exacts. But you did pass on the way here a little sand Zen garden thing that seems to have an imprint in it where you assume supposedly Leon walked through it. So he didn't walk around it, and nowhere else is disturbed, so no one else has walked there. So he just plowed right through that garden, didn't take the time to step around it. And also, on the ledge, that little rail is tall enough that you wouldn't, that it would be difficult to push someone off of it. So
Yeah.
somehow, either someone got him over that rail or he got over it himself.
Like possibly mentally compelled him to or something.
You don't
Maybe
know.
because like yeah, I know because I'm like so it doesn't show like scenes of struggle.
You can't really tell from what you got on that first roll. You don't have any
Yeah.
exacts, only that
Yeah.
it would probably be hard to get someone on this ledge,
Yeah.
and it looks like
I
he
see.
just walked through this garden,
Fuck.
and
Okay.
I don't know what you assume his personality would be, but you maybe he might just walk through the garden not knowing this little sand garden, not knowing what it is, or maybe he wouldn't. Maybe it's just sand to him. But that's what you can glean off the situation. And back to General 1.
I don't know.
Alright. Hold on, guys.
Walked on his own. I'm just saying that out loud to everybody.
Suicide?
He lived to work out. He lived happy. Not the brightest, but that was his charm. I say like kind of just looking at my feet.
Let's see here. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Alright. Alright. Uh,
Let's die.
Lawrence says there weren't any birds on the roof last night. Or at least none of them saw what happened.
He just walked right up to here. Nobody pushed him. Nobody grabbed him. He just walked on his own. Got down there. Jumped. No, that couldn't have been him. That not him. I say, just like in disbelief. No, he wouldn't just do that. Somebody must have taken over his mind or something. Somebody pushed him there. He wasn't the brightest. Maybe somebody possessed him and made him jump. Or I'm distraught, desperately trying to make sense of this because it doesn't make any to me.
He just jumped?
If he fought anyone, we would have seen it. We would have seen signs of it, and I kind of just show them like where he's walked through, like a normal stroll.
Chiho yells, "No, he wouldn't do that. He wouldn't."
Oh, I'm gonna
And she
walk up to
starts.
Chiho,
She
and
just starts bawling.
I kind of am a little cry too, and I'm just gonna hug Chiho.
Why
We are
do all
hugged.
my friends leave me? What did I do?
We're here. We're here. It's not your fault. We don't know what this is. It's not your fault.
Yeah, we're not gonna leave you. It's nothing you did.
They always leave though. First Kara, now Leon. She's crying. You don't know who Kara is.
No. Karu, that's with the little bit I know about forensics. and crime scenes. That's my answer. What I could give you. I say still hugging like Chiho. Teary-eyed, looking at you for some kind of hope. You're up here. You train.
Mhm.
You do something here. You have an answer, right? Like, though, that's what my eyes are conveying. You have an answer, right?
Karu, give me a body, or not a body, give me a mind check.
A mind? Okay.
Yeah.
Be the shonen hero you were always meant to be.
Gosh dang it, 8s?
No. No.
Right. It's totally shonen to trip up at this stage anyway.
We need to find Leon to figure out what happened after they separated last night.
Leon, you said?
Or,
Or
freaking Sora.
Sora.
Sora. Alright. Around this time, you see Gustav come to the roof. And he walks over and says, "What are all of you doing here? You should be in your rooms. Go, go." And he starts to usher you guys off.
I want to say something angry, but I'm once again sort of soothed by the presence of a responsible adult,
And
and follow like a good puppy.
he says in a very gentle voice, you kids don't need to see this. You don't need to deal with this. Let the adults handle this."
Never thought I'd do that. Typing myself that right there.
Okay. Yeah, nod and go with.
We'll head downstairs.
Well, where are you going exactly? To the lobby or what?
Well, 6th or 5th floor we think was where Sora was, right?
6th floor, yes. So do you want to go down there?
Yeah, I'd like to see if we can find him.
All right. Everyone else, are you following or are you going
I
somewhere else?
follow.
You're all in the
I'm-
same elevator, so when it dings at the 6th floor, that's your choice. Do you get out or not?
I get out. I have a relevant skill I wish to apply as well with Sora.
Yeah, definitely go with Chiho and
All right.
Lawrence.
So all of you, whenever you step out into the lobby, uh, it it's striking how different this lobby is from the rest of yours. It looks like a frat boy locker room in a way. There's what are those called? Those big head stickers on the wall of just sports players or fat head,
Yeah.
fat head.
Fathead.
Um,
Jesus. Yeah.
the-
Seems like Leon had the choice of the...
and
Sweet
instead
boy.
of carpet in the lobby, there's like AstroTurf, and instead of chairs, for the lobby room, there's benches, and it just smells like a football field or something in here. It's cut grass or something. It's strange. So what do? You don't know exactly which door or which room Sora is in. Are you just gonna knock on them all or just sit in the lobby?
Karu, I'm looking to you for leadership for this one. I don't care if we knock on all doors.
Well, we'll just knock on all of them because I don't know which one there would be in.
Sora! I'm gonna just say, like, angrily. Where are you, Sora? Half accusingly, half angry.
Are you just yelling this?
As I'm knocking on different doors.
Okay, well that's simple enough. Lucilia and Vera didn't. Well, actually, you know what? They did come with you. And they're kind of just hanging back, sitting on the benches, just watching you guys work do the work basically. And you eventually knock on door number 2. Uh, Let me note that down in my notes.
It's one of those where 2 is all the way at the end for some fucking
Yeah,
reason.
the end, right.
I hate that shit. But yeah, I get it.
I will give you a quick in Discord the layout. It goes it goes like that.
All right, so 4 rooms to a floor.
Yes,
No, okay.
in kind of a square shape with the lobby in the middle. And you get to room 2, and you see Sora opens the door. He seems to be in some sort of pajamas of some kind. They look very expensive and silken. And admittedly, he looks fairly attractive, to your dismay. And he sees Megumi at his door, and he says, "Ah, well, I didn't expect a visit from you this early in the morning."
This is not a social call.
Neutral.
You see him frown visibly, and he just says, "Oh, getting my hopes up for nothing. You're a tease, you know that?"
I'll
He gives you like a sheepish grin.
as his sheepish grin like materializes, I want to grab him by the collar.
Okay, go ahead and roll an ACV.
Cause I want answers. AC. Where is it? There it is. Damn. So I'm like fumbling for his clothes.
You reach out for him, but he just takes a step back and he says, "Whoa."
But it's an obvious like grasp of like anger.
Look, if we're gonna do that, go ahead and just come inside, he says.
I'll step to the side. Like, look, I don't think we have time for that.
Oh, hello.
Buzzkill.
As if he's just seeing us for the first time.
Where were you
Yes.
and Leon last night, and how late were you together?
Excuse me?
You were with Leon training last night, were you not?
I guess you could say that. It's more like me watching him lift an ungodly amount, really. You know he can lift every weight in that room by himself? Truly a fascinating specimen, but that's too much work. I just sat there and watched him.
Okay. How late were you guys up?
Well, he doesn't give you the exact time, but he does say, well, we went back for dinner around probably the same time you guys did. We saw you walk in, so we got there before you, so...
And then after you ate, where did you go? And when was it?
I came back up here and went to bed.
Was he
What?
Was he in
What?
the elevator with you whenever you went to your room?
I thought he was with you. What's with all these questions, anyway? Is it something to do with that announcement?
Leon was found in the front, in front of the building, dead.
He's just quiet. He doesn't know what to say.
Did you see anything?
No, I didn't. The last time I saw him was after dinner. I mean, well, we did come back here, but he hung out in the lobby for a minute, and then he said he was gonna cool down there and in the lobby, and then go take a shower and go to bed. So he wasn't far behind me, I thought.
Where's his room?
He points at 3, and he says he was in 3.
I'm gonna door him off and check to see if it's open.
That calls for a. Oh, wow. Lucky, lucky. It is slightly ajar as if someone left it open.
I just
You,
push it
you,
open, obviously, for everyone.
Megumi, give me a forensics real fast.
All right. Please science.
It wasn't picked or broken open. It seems that someone with the key either left it open or someone with the. Yeah, it seems like someone with the key just left it open.
He just walked out. I'm gonna walk in the room, just taking care to not step.
It's not as messy as you thought it would be. It's pretty messy though, but an ordered mess, you could say. There's
Yeah. Towels in the corner.
yeah, there's towels in the corner, but it's all the towels are in one corner and all the clothes are in another corner. So it's organized for the person it was. There's nothing in the drawers naturally. Well, I'll go ahead and let you guys search to see if you find anything, if that is what you want to do.
Oh, I don't have any other than the forensics. I don't have any search.
Let's see. What would I do for that? I will say a mind check
Mine.
because this is more about patience than perception.
I'm distracted a bit by the scent, by his scent still in the towels.
Megumi is
sad.
sniffing the towels in the corner. It's quite
And I like I sniff it just for a moment and just like kind of get a little teary and like clutch it. I mean, I didn't
Megumi,
love the dude, but he was an innocent.
or not Megumi, Chiho just sits in the lobby.
Are we just gonna search through his things?
Well, I don't have any
Yeah,
other answers, do you? I say angrily.
Lawrence
Such a bitch this session. Damn.
Lawrence is like, I don't know, just going into his room like that, and then he just sees you walk in, and he just follows you in, and he just kind of stands in the middle of the room, looking awkward. So Megumi and Lawrence are in the room. Megumi is going through drawers or sifting through the clothing, the towels.
Yeah.
I just stay out of the room and stand with Chiho.
Megumi, give me a forensics again.
All right.
This one is a difficult one.
I'm too fucked up. I'm sobbing and like
Yeah.
throwing
You-
clothes about and like I'm pulling drawers too hard. And
Yeah.
they, like one comes out, all kinds of shit. I'm fucking the scene up, dude.
All right. Everyone else who wants to search the room, give me a mind.
No. But are you ruining the crime scene for when someone else comes to look?
Maybe.
Yes.
I'm pulling drawers and shit. I'm too distraught. Like I'm trying to focus, but he's just
What
I mean,
about
he was
Karu? Are
here.
you doing anything?
He was here a little bit ago.
Hmm.
Maybe less violently searching the room?
Yeah, I guess I would try to search for anything that was a little out of place, something that probably wouldn't be in his possession, you'd expect.
Alright, go ahead. Mind.
Probably not.
His bed isn't made. And Megumi, since you were so violent with the search and you were descriptive enough with your search, I will go ahead and say that searching the drawers, you do find a photo album of some kind. That it doesn't seem like Leon's the kind to keep a diary or anything, but this seems like the closest thing.
So Karu probably finds it from like a drawer I threw open.
Yeah, we can say that your combined thing, you threw a drawer open and Karu's like, hold on a second. So you are now in possession of a pretty thick photo book. It seems like Leon liked to take pictures. Do you want to flip through it or?
Artist. Poor innocent Leon.
It also seems like there's other things in the photo book, like newspaper clippings of uh, youngest youngest quarterback or youngest linebacker to be considered for, by what's the word I'm looking for? Uh, spotters,
Pros. Yeah.
the guys who watch
Recruiters.
recruiters, youngest, talking about him and 6-year-old competes in middle school football tournament and things like that.
Oh.
And is he a prodigy? Things like that. Uh, but you guys can flip through it. Let me know if you're flipping through it. But just opening it, that's what you see. Some newspaper clippings. Him as a child in a football uniform. Oddly enough, when you looked around the room, you didn't see any football equipment, any footballs, anything, any any football jerseys. None of that was in here. But are you flipping through the book?
I mean, probably should.
All right. So, Megumi and Karu, you gather to huddle together to look at this book. Lawrence is there too. So is Vera. Everyone else, I assume, is sitting out in the lobby. So, Akiho, you're sitting there with Lucilia, and Sora is sitting out there too.
Yeah.
So you flip through, and it's basically a snapshot of his life. A lot of smiling faces. There's one of him in middle school with the football team, and he's in his football stuff, and he looks even bigger than he is now. There's him next to a MVP trophy for middle school football. Uh, there's newspaper clippings that says things like "pro in the making?" question mark. Uh, that there's a few in there that kind of show a different side to Leon you didn't really expect to see. Seems to be pictures of him at what seemed to be frat parties or something with him with a beer in his hand, and there's one of him just sleeping with his face on the table, just passed out. Uh, there's even one of him wearing like nothing but a jock strap and uh, with uh, with his one of his hands like in a bathtub, and it looks like they did the thing where you put your hand in warm water and you pee over yourself,
Oh,
and
yeah.
he's just in a bathroom. Just typical. It looks like just frat boy jock things. But as you start flipping towards the end, there's one page in particular that you kind of stands out, and it's a newspaper clipping that says football star uh, football star ends another's career, and it's just a picture of Leon in his football uniform in a stage being led off with someone on a gurney.
Shit.
And if you want to, you can read through the article, and basically the gist of it says uh, football rising football star Leon Graham um, uh, ends career of up and coming quarterback, shattering his spine in a devastating sack. Uh, the play was later determined to be an illegal offsides. No comment from uh, no comment from doctors on his condition. And looking down, you see another article that says um, uh, rising quarterback star paralyzed by up and coming uh, football lineback prodigy. Uh, then there's an interview with the parents, and there's a picture of them. They're like holding each other, and the wife crying, and it just says he'll never get to play football. He'll never get to walk on beaches. Uh, that kid ruined his life. And you flip through more pages, and there aren't any more pictures of Leon in any football gear. You just see more pictures of Leon and frat parties and things, and uh, then the last picture in the book uh, uh, is a picture of Leon, I guess, smiling, holding his golden ticket up with lettering on there that says, I won the lottery or something. I won a lottery, a vacation lottery, and just a picture of him with a golden ticket next to next to a car that it looks like is packed up with all the stuff you see here. And at the end, you see there's tucked in a pocket what seems to be a little note. Uh, that's folded up, and you can't read it without taking it out.
Well,
A weekly point to it.
pull out the note, uncrinkle it.
It's a note that you read it, and the handwriting is terrible and the grammar isn't that good. It's pretty sure it's Leon's handwriting. If you want to roll a forensics, Megumi, you can.
Sure.
This one will be an easy one.
I almost clicked Blind Fury. Alright.
Yeah,
Blind Fury.
pretty sure it's his handwriting.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
Weekends.
Basically, what the note says is it is an apology note, basically saying how he, if he could take his place, he would have. He never meant to hit him that hard. He didn't know his own strength. Anything he can do to make it right, he knows he can't do anything, but he'd do anything that he could, and that he just wants to talk, and that he never meant to do that, and that it's destroying him that he hurt another person in such a way.
He didn't show any of that when he was here.
If you guys want to roll a mind check.
To try and remember something.
Yeah, try to remember something, anything. Eh, he didn't seem distressed in any way.
Nope.
Maybe the smile was fake. Maybe he's just a in the moment kind of guy. Maybe it was just his own personal demon that, everyone has. And he just wasn't letting it, ruin his life. You don't know. Now I guess you'll never know.
This is like the best I think we could do with the investigation. I'm gonna look up at Karu. Like, well, that's his skeleton in the closet. That's mean it.
Lawrence just says, that must have been so hard for him. Oh, wait, I'm actually going to give Lawrence a mind roll.
By the power of French.
By the power of French. He didn't seem to mention anything about sports or anything, though. He just seemed to like lifting. Maybe that's why.
Never wanted to play again. Today was supposed to be gym, wasn't it?
Vera just says that's correct.
Oh, it's teacher's fault. I'm just saying. Just kind of nonsense, angry.
Wait, say that again? I didn't hear you.
Is this the teacher's fault? Were they gonna force this on us? No, they didn't.
I didn't say anything about sports.
No, I can't. I just get out. I just walk out of the room and lean back against the wall next to the door.
Lawrence goes in the hall and basically tells the rest of you about what you saw, that there wasn't really anything in there besides this photo book. And who has the photo book right now? If neither of you have it, then
Karu
Lawrence.
has it. Think you had it, Karu?
Yeah,
Sure.
Karu, you had it.
Yep.
All right, well, Lawrence will tell them about this photo book and tell them that you have it, Karu.
Look at Akiho and check how he's taking care of Chiho.
Yeah, I'm just over here. I just listen in. I guess at this point,
Chiho has just been quiet, just staring blankly at the wall.
yeah. At this point, I'll see if I can remember anything, I guess.
All right, go ahead.
If they explained everything. So
Yeah, they explained it.
yeah,
And Karu might have even shown you.
Boom, motherfucker.
Wow.
You distinctly recall him saying something along the lines of him not being into sports. And then he just kind of, whenever someone brought up playing, I believe it was Megumi who brought up playing volleyball or something.
Right. Yeah.
And you distinctly remember Leon getting kind of awkward at that and saying he's not that into sports and kind of
Shit, I remember that. Now.
laughing it off.
Out of character, I remember it.
Yeah. I go ahead and just share what I remember. It didn't seem like he really liked sports
and you also from a 16 you got the feeling that he he wasn't competitive at all, or at least he seemed like he wanted to avoid competition or
He was all
confrontation.
about boosting up others, dude.
Yeah. So, yeah, maybe he was afraid of getting competitive again. Or at least he didn't want anything to do with sports.
Yeah, he didn't seem to like sports. It didn't seem like he wanted to be competitive, and he even joked about not wanting to play volleyball when you talked about it, Megumi.
And I have like that moment of recall.
Akiho, go ahead and give me a Hail Mary soul check.
Come on, Nats. Oh,
No,
Well, that's still nothing.
you would have
5 and
had to
5,
get
basically.
you would have had to get another 16.
Yeah.
Okay, dang.
All right. Well, you don't gain you felt like you might have almost had a realization into this guy's psyche, but nah, there's no.
Right.
You don't know him. How could you know his mind?
Then, after I explain that, I just kind of go quiet, and I don't really ask to look at the photo album because that seems like it'd just be too painful.
well, after
Chi-
we're done with it, we'll close it up and.
Chiho just looks through the picture. She just takes out the last picture of him with the ticket and just starts crying. And she just says, "I wonder if he never came to this place, if he'd still." And she just starts bawling, and she holds the picture to her chest. We were supposed to go to the waterfall today. He looked so happy. Lawrence puts a shoulder around Chiho and just, you guys are actually surprised at how strong Lawrence is being right now. He just
Yeah, that is surprising.
he just solemnly sits beside her. She cries into his shoulder. Well, as you're sitting in the lobby, as you're sitting in the lobby, you hear over the intercom Gustav come over. It breaks the moment, the silence, the awkwardness for a second, and in a solemn voice, you hear over the intercom, "Students, please gather in the assembly room." And you recall the assembly room was the big stage that you came in on the first day.
Talk to us about powers and
Almost
shit.
like an amphitheater.
Yeah, almost
Yeah.
like an amphitheater. Also, I've got to change this picture real fast. Edit. Where is the picture? Where is the picture? Here you go. Now where's the save button? Save changes. All right, there you go. If you look inside the students, Leon's picture has changed slightly.
Okay.
Well, I guess all of you in silence get in the elevator and you start to walk out of the lobby of the hotel, and then you just see a stain on the concrete. Chiho does her best not to stare. She just looks away. Lawrence looks at his feet and just keeps walking. Max comes out with you guys. His mood isn't like yours. He just kind of strolls out in his carefree way. He says, "Hey, hey, you guys, why are you looking so down? What's pretty lucky deal we got out of class, huh?"
I'm going to punch him.
I just ignore him
Who
and
is saying this?
Max?
Oh, okay.
yeah. I just ignore him and anything else and just pull Chiho and just leave this place because
I'm gonna
Damn it.
stop
stay
your.
there.
I'm gonna stop
It-
your punch, Megumi.
Shonen.
Go ahead and roll a DCV. Karu, go ahead. Roll a DCV.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the die. Sorry.
I know it takes a bit.
Ah.
Catch my fist easily.
They're like,
You don't quite catch her fist, but you do deflect it in kind of like a karate block thing. And you were aiming wide anyway.
Yeah.
You tears in your eyes,
Rage punch.
enraged punch, but you stumble to your feet to the ground whenever you punch, and Max just kind of backs up. His eyes are wide, and he's like, "Whoa, what did I do?"
Ran your
You-
fucking mouth. I say, just like getting up to storm off.
Art, to where are you?
No, what's going on?
Leon was found in front of the building, dead this morning.
You're kidding, right?
No, I'm afraid not. I'm sure you can understand why there's a bit of sensitivity from that statement.
Yeah, I didn't. His eyes glance to where the stain is, and he's like, "Shit, man, I'm sorry. I didn't know."
None of us did. Not really, at least.
Everyone, go ahead and roll me a body.
Body.
All right, Karu, you see Isabella walk out. The rest of you, Isabella seems to just kind of appear besides Max. It's very poltergeist weird, but you see her walk up, but everyone else is kind of focused on other things. And Isabella just says, startling all of you who didn't notice her, "Why is everyone sad?" She tilts her head. "Why is there no
Akiko.
class?"
Akiho, would you mind explaining to her?
And I just kind of, I nod and walk over and put my hand on her shoulder and kind of pull her to the side and like kneel down and
What's
just
wrong?
explain. One of our friends, Leon, he fell to his death. It's
Leon
he's gone.
gone?
Yeah. We won't be seeing our friend Leon anymore.
She just looks at her feet. Gone? There's emotion in her voice. She's sad. It's almost startling.
I hug her.
She is still as stiff as a board. She just says, "Why is he gone? Why did he fall?"
I don't know. He just, I guess, chose to leave.
She just looks at her feet and she just says, "I don't understand."
None of us do. And then I just grab her hand and walk over and ask Chiho and the rest if they just want to go to the meeting.
Megumi, you hear in the back of your mind this sickening sweet despair. I don't want this. It tastes so sweet and so vile.
Shut your mouth. Just stay shut and let me lead. You are a passenger. You are my passenger on this ride. Now be quiet. Let me deal with this.
I'm sure you didn't mean to make the reference, but all I could
dark
think
passenger, motherfucker. Fuck yeah. I didn't mean to.
What's the reference I've got to see now?
No,
Dark
just
Passenger.
Dexter, yeah.
of Dexter, the serial killer. He calls his dark passenger the voice that talks him into murdering.
So basically, he's got the Beast from Vampire the Masquerade. Anyway, I'm trying to think if there's anyone that's not with your current group right now. I don't think there is besides the teachers. No, all of you are there. Yeah, all of you are there. So somehow all of you ended up gathering up inside in front of this morbid scene, and most of you walk in silence towards the assembly hall or the amphitheater. As you enter the room, enter the amphitheater, how open it is striking. There's so many chairs, and it runs through your mind that one of these chairs will be empty,
Be empty.
will stay empty. There's so many open chairs, but there's one more that there shouldn't be. Gustav is sitting in front of or not sitting, he's standing in front of a podium desk, and beside him is Judas and Safra. And all of you take your seats, and uh, Gustav begins to speak. I'm sure, as all of you are aware, this morning your fellow classmate and friend Leon Graham was found he chokes on his words for a minute, trying to find the right thing to say. I'll just come out and say it. He was found dead in front of the building this morning. Now, I know this is hard for all of you, so we will be holding a service for him later this evening. As all of you are aware, there isn't a means of communication off of this island, so we will be holding an impromptu funeral, and we will be holding him in the only place that we have available to us, so that when next we leave, we will be able to give his family, his next of kin, the news and his remains. Class is canceled for the evening, and the following day, take all of the time that you need, and if you need an ear, Miss Safra or any of us are here to speak with you. If any of you know what happened, you can speak with us, as we need to tell his family exactly. But
I'll look at Karu and Akiho and kind of, I guess, just like, do we tell them we try to investigate it on our own? Kind of just like our look. Like, yeah, I just mouth it if you guys can.
Oh, I'm just gonna
understand.
bluntly raise my hand.
Okay, that total, as I look, good. Taking charge.
Nice.
Handsome shonen.
yes, Mr. What was your last name again?
Shimizu.
Mr. Shimizu, you have something to say?
Well, I'm. You were seeing us around the building throughout the time, yes? And
We were busy, I'm afraid.
well, we we wanted to know why, and we looked
We
around.
all do, young one. We all do.
We've investigated his room for a possible reason as to why he might have done this, or
How did you get in
the
his
door
room?
was unlocked. It was just open.
Yes, it was just open. He looks to Safra and Judas for a moment and looks to the side, whispers something to them. Come and speak with us in a moment. This uh, this assembly is dismissed, please. Miss Safra plans on holding a lunch, a memorial lunch. I know it is hard for all of you, but you must eat something. That is all. And he starts to walk off. This would be a good time to take a break and go use the restroom and anything. So I will be back.
All right.
Okay.
Wait, what?
Wait, it's dark in here, so I peed in a cup, but another cup. has
Wait,
Gatorade.
did you say something?
No.
Okay, then I'll be right back.
So 50-50. Go for it. Let us know the results.
Oh, yeah, that's not. No, I'm kidding. I want to get more juice or more tea.
All right, I'll be right back.
Okay. I lost my cup. In there? Yeah, I'll do that right now. Hang on. Hot as fucking now. Hooray.
I'm back.
Alright. Oh man. Hot, hot, hot. God, how powerful microwaves can be.
Microwaves.
The power of microwaves. Sometimes like it makes shit and it's so frozen in the middle, and then sometimes it's fucking lava.
Yeah, it's like you can't eat it for like a whole.
That's why I guess there's that chaos mode. Have you heard of that? I love it. Sometimes it doesn't say any mode. It just says chaos. There's a button that says chaos, but it just like throws. It just, like does different levels of power randomly and all this other shit to kind of make it more even. I find that kind of
I
weird.
feel like that would mess up the microwave.
I thought it would too, but that's a thing.
What?
Engage chaos.
I thought you were talking about a game.
A microwave. Apparently, there's microwaves that have a mode called chaos.
How does?
Oh, it's a defrost mode. Okay, to make it more even.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, how does chaos mode do any? Like, how's that
Yeah, I
helpful
know.
for cooking?
I thought it would like damage the machine because it's adjusting to different like power settings too quickly or something.
Oh, okay. I guess it's in meme format, but here you go. Here is my proof. Bam. That's for when your mom pulls up and you forgot to take the chicken out of the freezer.
Why does it have a microwave?
What?
Engage chaos. There's also another microwave that has an interesting setting. I'm sure it's just a lock, but you could read it for cooking a very specific thing. Behold. Child.
All right, well, I'm back. How about everyone else?
Yeah.
All right, Quinde, you here?
No.
Other one? That other guy? Are you here?
Other Quinde.
Yeah.
Other Quinde?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I think other Quinde died.
There can be only one.
Okay.
I was hoping it would play. Here we are. Just the intro. Instead it called me fucking loud.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry I had to do this to you.
I know. I feel like if we might have been able to prevent it if we spent a little more time with Leon, because I kind of felt like he kind of isolated him slightly with Leon, because Leon or not Leon, freaking Sora just doesn't care, it seems like.
All right, well, I know you want happy anime times. Well, you got not so happy anime times.
We got plot twist.
Going back to the game.
Yes.
So Gustav walks off the stage, followed by Judas and Saphira. Saphira seems to leave, and she seems to be headed towards the cafeteria. And Gustav stands there and beckons you, Karu, to come over to him.
Might we all talk about this? Since we are all already heard about it anyways.
Do you guys go over there?
I am.
Because Max doesn't know anything about this, like, at all. Like, he's completely in the dark. So... No.
He's completely in the dark. Sora is partially in the dark.
And Lucio and Vera are kind of as well. But...
I think they're basically pretty caught up, because they only missed the first discovery of the body. Other than that, they're basically at the same point we are, I think.
Out of character, she knows everything you know.
She keeps reading our minds. Anyways. Okay.
That reminds me, something is bugging her.
Lucille or Vera?
Lucilia. Hold on. Let's see. All right. That's all I needed. So you all go over to Gustav. Sorry, I was rolling some things. Anyway, Gustav says, "You, all of you know something? Did you see this happen?"
We did not see it happen, but we can only speculate that it may have occurred sometime before 4 this morning and after 10 last night. Earlier this morning at 4:15, I discovered a chair knocked over in our lobby area. Didn't really think anything of it at the time, but obviously it has something to do with this, more than likely.
Gustav scratches his chin and he says, why would he need to pass through your floor to get to the roof? He could have just taken the elevator straight up there.
If he did this on his own, which it's hard to believe that, but when going through his room, we did find
That causes Gustav to tilt his head when you said, I don't know.
we found that he's had some history with other players in sports. He had did he critically injure or kill someone?
He broke their spine and crippled them for life.
So critically injured.
Yep.
A fellow sports person on a football.
How did you find out about this? Did he tell you?
We found a book in his room filled with newspapers from events that he has been to, or pictures, photos, that kind of describe his kind of history of himself.
We were aware of this incident, but we didn't think it was...
In the photo book, there was a scrap of paper we found that made it seem like he was definitely suffering over it.
Thank you. This is disheartening, but you said if he was alone, you think someone was with him?
Not necessarily. I'll motion Megumi. You had found some traces of no
There was
scuffle
no struggle.
or no struggle
Nothing.
on the rooftop.
It's like he calmly walked there and then got down to the railing. That's it.
Well, that doesn't tell us anyone was with him. It just tells us his mind was made up.
It's likely you mentioned that he was walking through the hallway instead of taking the elevator directly.
Yes, there would be no reason to go to the floor into the lobby at all. As you know, there's the elevators and the stairs right beside them, so there would be no reason to go to the lobby unless he stopped there intentionally. Are you sure it wasn't one of you three in the night? As I recall, you are all on the same floor.
Well, it wasn't I.
Lucilia says, uh, says, "No, it was not me," and Vera just shakes her head. Hmm.
If it was him, he could have.
And again, what was your basis that he was even up there? He, Gustav asks.
Why he was up there?
No, why do you think he was up there?
Well, I'll kind of look towards Akiho. Um,
Mhm.
what?
Lucilia butts in and says, "I did hear uh, a sound or a bump last night, but I didn't think anything of it, and I went back to sleep."
Wait,
Hmm.
bump. Like he just. Do you think he just like walked through something? Why would he
I-
do that?
I think he bumped into the chair, which is why it was knocked over. But
He's not that clumsy.
what if? I mean, unless he's, I don't know.
Children, Gustav says, "I know this hurts you, and I know you're looking for reasons, but you just might not find them. Maybe he was just hurting inside. I know you're tempted to blame this on someone, but he
What kind
just
of
trails off.
what kind of powers have you seen in your life?
All kinds. Uh, I knew someone who could surf water without a board on, speak to plants, uh, harness the energy of the sun to do various things.
What about influence?
Influence, you mean of the mind?
Sure.
Well, that's actually a very fascinating story. That was actually how I discovered my powers. I met a telepath who had no effect on me. Before then, I was just, well, I was living my life, such as it was. He told me he could not control me like he could control others, and it scared him, and, well, frankly, he tried to get rid of me. So, yes, those powers exist.
I mean, then there is a second option.
You are thinking he was under some kind of suggestion?
The only thing that makes sense.
It's just a possibility.
Well,
If he was hurting this bad, I mean, it could have been easily influenced, but it could have also been of his own accord. There's really no way to tell.
he he sighs and puts a hand on your shoulder and he says, "I'm sorry, but that's impossible. We," he looks at Judas, "we know your powers. None of you have that kind of ability."
Wait, you already know what we're capable of?
It's not like you were chosen randomly. How did you suspect that we gathered people with powers here? There was some investigation. Now, the full extent of your powers is anyone's guess, but unless someone did a very good job of hiding. But generally, people don't, before they are informed, do not make an effort to not use their powers unless they don't know. But all of you, I think you all just need to get some rest and to clear your head. Get something to eat.
Fine.
He looks at Lucilia and he says, "May I have a moment?" And Lu- Lucilia looks taken aback and she says, "Surely you can't possibly." You heard their concerns. Fine. Vera, wait for me. Yes, ma'am. All right. So do all of you, her and Gustav kind of step to the side and you hear her say, "Of course not." And in a very insulted way, like, how could you even possibly suggest? And
Suggest what? I say out loud.
Does she have powers of the mind?
Gustav says, "Please leave us be. This is a private conversation."
If it has to deal with the death of one of our own and our safety, I don't think it needs to be hidden.
He looks back at you and just sighs and starts to open his mouth, and then but Lucilia turns to all of you. You're about 10 feet away from each other, and
Yeah.
she shouts and she says, "Oh, so you want to know my big secret, huh? Okay, fine, fine. I can read all of you like a book. Your thoughts are my playground. Are you happy? I can't control people's minds, but I can read them." And then she crosses her arms and she says, "Will that be enough for you, huh? Now that you know?"
That's actually enough for me. I just
I mean, no one assumed it was you.
Oh, don't give me that. I can read you, remember?
And what did you read?
She she points at Megumi and she says, "I don't even have to read her. Her emotions are an open book on her face. She'll suspect anyone."
She lashes out at anyone right now just because of the way she is. Give her some time.
I don't have to deal with this. And she just storms off and as she's walking back, she just shouts, "Vera!" And Vera bows to all of you and kind of jogs off after her.
Naruto runs over.
Gustav just sighs and walks away. You're all alone in the amphitheater.
Well, suppose we should go and try to get this off our minds.
How do we do that?
Chiho just says, I'll never be able to get that out of my mind. It never goes away. Isabella tugs on Chiho's sleeve, and she says, we could go to the waterfall. He probably would have liked that. Chiho just stares at Isabella. And then she looks at all of you.
We should leave something there for him to remember him by there.
Yeah.
To say this is where, he could have gone. And at least he'll be able to see it in his spirit.
Chiho starts to tear up a little, but she wipes it away and stands up a little bit straighter, and she says, yeah, he would like that. He would have wanted us all to go see the waterfall. And she just starts crying again.
We'll create a little monument to him.
Alright, well, if we're gonna go, we need to get some food before we head that way, so we make sure we'll be able to eat.
Good idea.
Yes. I'll go make us something.
Alright. I got a few things to get from my room, so I'll meet you guys, I guess, in the cafeteria.
Yes, we can all meet there.
I've got some things I want to pick up too, Lawrence says, and he walks with Karu to the elevator. Well, you head to the cafeteria, and Safra is making basically anything you want.
Okay,
But
so she's there right now.
Yeah. Mostly she's making comforting foods, like, name a comforting food for me, people.
Ice cream.
Ice cream,
Chocolate.
yes.
Ice cream.
There's lots of sweets and cakes.
Yeah, that's anime enough. Sweets and cakes.
And however, there's still things like chicken soup and, things to actually fill you up.
Also, the curry just doesn't taste as good if it's
yes.
available. David.
Lots of rice dishes. There's some sushi and even some tofu. But no one seems to have an appetite except for Max. You get the feeling that he could eat anytime, anywhere, under any circumstance.
Of course.
Cat.
but he's in his corner booth just minding his own business, not really looking at anyone or doing anything. Lucilia and Vera are at their table. Sora is actually sitting with Max, and the table that you normally saw Sora and Leon sitting at is empty.
I offer to. I walk into the kitchen and offer to help Safra cook, bake, whatever, and then to make more food for our outing.
She welcomes you to it. Uh, she basically stays out of your way and you stay out of hers, and you help each other whenever you get a chance. It makes prepping the food a little bit faster. Probably it'll taste a little bit better too.
Cool.
Yay.
But you get little bento lunches ready for everyone. And I guess Karu, you've went to the cafeteria by this point too.
Yes.
Yeah, you and Lawrence head to the cafeteria together. Lawrence has a very, very large piece of paper or note sketchpad thing. It basically is as big as him.
Mhm.
And he's got a pouch with him.
I will also have my calligraphy set with me.
Lawrence doesn't really say anything on his way there. He seems to be in quiet contemplation. Well, you get in the cafeteria and everyone is sitting at their tables. There's an awkward silence as everyone just kind of eats. And I guess you pull up a table next to whoever you want to and also get something to eat. Is there anything you guys want to talk about while you're sitting at the table? It's around noon.
I know there's only so many seats at one table, but is there any way we can try to get like more than one table pulled up against each other?
Yeah. There are most of the tables are circular, but there are a few square tables that you can pop up next together.
I'm gonna try to convince us to do that so we can all kind of sit at one table.
Everyone?
Yeah.
I'll help
Mm,
pull, even though I'm not the strongest.
roll a soul.
Oh, soul.
Not you, Karu.
Alright.
Some are going to be harder to convince than others.
Right. Oh my gosh.
Uh,
Did I roll it twice?
you did roll it twice, but I'll take the first
the
one.
first one.
You don't really have any trouble convincing Max to go over there. Vera goes where Lucilia goes, and Lucilia doesn't want to sit with you guys. But Sora also goes over, though he doesn't, because he just doesn't seem to care if he's sitting alone or not sitting alone. But Lucilia and Vera get up when they're done, not long after you actually pulled the tables up, and they leave.
Alright. So pretty much the only two were Lucille and Vera.
Yeah,
We're not
those
interested.
are the only two that aren't there.
Okay.
We're all eating together. running to unite us all.
United in grief.
Max is the first to kind of break the silence, and he doesn't really know what to say, so he just kind of says something about the food, like, "This is pretty good, huh?"
Yes, the food is nice. Max, we're going to a waterfall to kind of set up a memorial for Leon. Would you be interested in coming along?
There's a waterfall?
Apparently, there is.
He just kind of shrugs and says, "I guess."
And what about you, Leon?
Leon.
You mean Sora?
Freaking Sora.
Ghost of
I
Leon. do you
can't
wanna
get him
join
out
us?
of my head. Sora, would you also want to join us?
Mm. The sentiment is nice. Normally I would say no, but under the circumstances, I couldn't bring myself not to. So I'll go with you.
Very well.
I would prefer the
Weird.
company.
I'm assuming we've got enough food for all of us, basically.
Yeah.
Akiho can go make more.
That's kind of the thing was I don't think Akiho expected more people. So
Yeah,
just
so
wanted to-
we see Akiho had brought out the food and then knows that more is coming. It's like, all right, I'll be right back.
More is coming.
Lawrence kind of chimes in and he says, "Well, I talked to the birds a little bit more, and they were telling me the waterfall is actually kind of far, so I was thinking that maybe we could go out there and it could be like a little camping trip and we stay there overnight because we wouldn't be able to get back before we would get there by the time it gets dark. So we could camp out there maybe, tell the teachers."
yeah, we'd want to inform someone where we're at. Hey, all right.
If
I can't say that I have any camping gear though.
neither do I, but I don't know, maybe the teachers have something. Let's see, would anyone have camping gear?
I
Megumi,
don't think
you
so.
might. I don't know. Yeah, no. Chiho kind of stands up and just says, "I'll go ask." And just walks off to the kitchen where Safra is cleaning up. A minute or two goes by, and she comes back and she says, "Yeah, they actually have a few tents and were they said that they take a hike out every year or with every group of students, so we can use it if we want to. But we've got to have one of them with us."
When we go,
Yeah.
I mean,
They she said she doesn't want us to get lost and that, you know, they know the island like the
island.
back of their hand.
All right. Which one wants to go? I guess.
She just says, I didn't ask. I just kind of came back here. She weakly smiles, but you can tell it's kind of forced. She's trying to be happy, upbeat self, but she's struggling. It makes you wonder if if before was an act or not, actually, but who can really tell?
She's next to jump.
Oh my gosh. um,
The roof of doom, it compels people to jump off of it like the Twilight Zone.
um, how? I'll ask. So I'll head over to Safra first, since she's the closest one to us. I don't think Judas or Kretch are here, so
Uh, she says, "Oh, hey, Karu."
I will bow. Greetings.
She'll give a light bow in response.
We were told we needed to take someone with us, correct?
Oh yeah, if you're going to be leaving uh, the school grounds, yeah, we
So
can't
I didn't
have
know.
you unattended.
We didn't know which of you preferred to go.
Um, she puts a finger on her chin and she goes, Well, Mr. Cratch isn't really all into that wilderness stuff. Um, I would go, but I have things to do here. So probably ask Judas.
Then we will do that.
I don't know where he is right now, though.
I'll
Hmm.
check the arcade first and see if he's in there.
All right. Well, uh, I'll tell Mr. Cretch that what you guys are up to. Just be careful of the ocelots.
The what?
Ocelots.
What are those?
They're like little cats. Um, they're really cute, but they can be mean.
Cats. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
But don't worry, you won't really see them unless they're already jumping on you.
uh, okay.
All right, well, it'll be fine. You'll have Judas there. All
So
right, that's all she says.
I will bow again to her, and then I will turn towards the table. So it seems as though Judas is probably our best person to take. So
Yeah.
guess
He seems pretty chill. That'd be fine. Max says.
I probably he's at the arcade. I honestly don't know, but that's where I'm first gonna check for him. So
All right, are you going there?
um
If you do, Lawrence will stand up and go with you.
okay, then I will go.
All right. As you start to leave the cafeteria, uh, you Vera starts walking into the door around the same time that you guys are, and she says, "Oh, hello everyone. Um,
Greetings.
all of you were planning
Hello.
on doing something, correct? I saw all of you put the table together, so I I felt I should maybe partake." She she says she's asking you if she can do whatever you're doing. She says, I wouldn't be intruding if I asked to come along."
No, I mean if you want to come along with us, Is Lucille also joining you?
No, the mistress said she wants some time alone.
Okay. We were just gonna go grab Judas, real quick. So we'll be right back. But everyone else is here if you want to
Thank you.
hang out.
I'll do that. She gives a deep bow and then walks past you.
I'll bow back. And then
All right. Everyone else, you see Vera walk past Karu, and she walks up to the table and says, "Greetings, everyone." Uh, Karu said that I could accompany you. Where exactly are you going?
We're going to the waterfall.
There's a waterfall?
Yeah, it's off campus a little bit though. We're going to honor.
You cut out a little bit there.
Oh, sorry. We're going to honor Leon. It's off campus a ways, and we had talked about it before. Well, you know.
That seems like a very nice idea. I'd be happy to come along if you'd have me.
Of course.
She just sits at an empty chair. You see her move her maid skirt out of the way so she can properly sit. Sora says offhandedly, "Well, if anything, Leon was in good company at least," looking around the table. Well, skipping back to Karu, you go into the arcade slash juice bar.
Mhm.
And it doesn't take long to see Judas sitting at the bar with a bottle with a clear liquid inside of it.
Gosh, he's drinking. Okay.
Oh, good job.
Uh, yeah. Greetings, Judas.
Oh, hey, Karu, right? Karu, that's your name?
Yes. We were talking to Safra, and she said that we needed someone to accompany us on our trip, and so we figured we'd ask you.
Trip. Where are you guys headed?
There's a waterfall. Um, where did you say it was, Lawrence?
Uh, on the east side of the island? Judas takes a second and he says, "Oh yeah, yeah, past that mountain, right. Uh, that's kind of far away, isn't it? You wouldn't be able to come there and come back before nightfall."
No, that's why we were planning on camping out uh,
Oh, I see, I see.
for the night.
Uh, yeah, yeah, that's fine with me. It's been a rough day, hasn't it? He leans back in his chair.
It seems like everyone's a bit on the gray side.
Yeah. How old are you guys?
Um,
Judas is asking.
15.
15, huh? Lawrence says, "I'm 14." He looks at both of you and he says, "For this old enough, you guys want a drink?" He grabs two small little glasses and fills them up about halfway, and he
You
fills up
know,
his all the way.
being from the countries you are, this is actually legal.
Right.
Pretty sure.
Being from where?
Well, in as long as you want in the U.S.
It is 16, and no, it is not legal. In
Oh,
Japan, it is legal at 16. For
about-
Lawrence, he is legal.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
You probably know this is alcohol, but I don't know if you've partaken in anything other than ceremonial wine.
No.
Lawrence just says, "Oh, no, thanks." And Judas is like, "Well, suit yourself. How about you?"
I probably should
It makes the day go by a lot easier. He downs his shot and he says, "Well, if I'm going to be chaperoning, I've had enough. I guess meet me at the fountain whenever you guys are ready. The camping equipment is, I'll just give you the key." He hands you the key, and he points you to a storage shed kind of in this vicinity. And he says, "All right, well, I'll meet you there, I guess."
All right. We will return shortly.
All right. Well, everyone at the restaurant, what are you doing? Or cafeteria? Safra gets done cleaning, and
I'll put the tables back where they were.
Safra comes up to everyone and says, "Is everyone okay? Does anyone need to talk about anything?" She looks
No,
over.
we're just getting ready.
Okay, well, I'm office too if any of you need to talk. I'll be there. And she just walks out. And before she walks out, she stops at the door and she turns around and she says, "This isn't any of your fault." And then she just walks out. You see Karu, you see Safra heading back to the hotel, and she says, "Oh, did you find Judas?"
Yes. He was at the bar. Uh, he'll be meeting us in front of the fountain after we get the supplies.
Was he drinking?
Yes.
She rolls her eyes and just starts walking. Still towards the hotel.
All right. We should head towards the shed for the tents and stuff.
Okay, I'll go tell everyone to go to the fountain. And do you need any help?
Yeah. Depending on how many there is, we might need a few arms.
Well, there are a few of us. Maybe we should all go. Maybe we should all help?
Okay, we'll do that.
Alright, Karu and Lawrence come back.
Greetings again.
Welcome back.
Welcome.
We've got the key for the shed with the tent equipment. So if we could get a few people to help carry a little bit, that would be great.
Vera
Oh.
stands up and says, "Of course."
So, if,
Sora doesn't volunteer. He just kind of sits there and he says, and he doesn't say anything. Neither does Max.
I'll help.
I'll help as well. Lazy jerk. Shock.
Max actually gets up and goes with you guys. So you guys head to it's actually a fairly large shed, and whenever you put the key in and you open it, you see all kinds of equipment. There's sports equipment in there, different kinds of volleyballs and footballs, and there's soccer nets and volleyball nets in there. There's general groundskeeping equipment like shovels. There's actually a pickaxe in there. You don't know why. It doesn't look like it's been used, but there's one in there. Gardening tools and equipment. Uh, some there's general tools like wrenches and things of that nature. Drills, just basically anything to maintain the island on its own.
Mhm.
And sports activities and generally anything you would find in a school, as well as some amenities like things like water purification tablets and freeze-dried food is also in there. Uh, you assume since it's an island, they just have it there for just in case.
Right.
There's also wooden training dummies in there. Karu that you would be familiar with.
That is a familiar sight.
But the camping equipment is in there. There are enough tents for everyone. There's a fire starting kit in there as well. Sleeping bags and mats and all of the accessories.
Akiko,
Hmm.
do you think we should take the fire starter kit, or do you think that we should be okay?
Lawrence says, I don't know how to start a fire on my own.
Me either, but
Isabella behind you just says, I'll be fine.
yeah,
We'll be fine.
I think Isabella can help.
I can make fireworks for Leon.
So we won't have to take that. That won't be extra weight on us. Let's see. So tents. Um, we've got food.
Yeah, I'll be carrying bags of food, but I'll also try to carry anything else if I can.
I'll carry any miscellaneous like leftover crap, so my stuff will be all like clanky.
Lawrence
Hot.
grabs a few bags of that freeze-dried fruit and he just says for a snack on the way. But is that it? Just tents and camping gear?
Uh,
A little cook pot and other random stuff. If you guys can think of random stuff, I'll carry that.
Let's see, everyone who's
Rope.
there.
I will
Vera
have no.
Vera grabs a machete.
There's a lot of trees.
yeah, we will need to
Yeah,
cut
good
that brush.
Vera says precisely. And
No, you have brush cutting power.
she hands another machete to Megumi.
Thanks. I kind of snatch it.
And
Oh.
Vera says, I do not have that power. Would be convenient though.
Can be what? What power?
The brush cutting.
Oh.
Like if she had like the anime slashes, you know what I mean?
Right. So, Sora says, yes, that would be useful. Too bad.
Let's see. We got rope, right? We got Bags. I got bags. I know one of us has a way of generating light, but we probably should bring a few lanterns as well.
Oh, I can't generate
That's a good
light.
idea, Lawrence
Oh yeah, good
says.
idea.
Well, it looks like we have everything, so I guess we're ready.
Yes.
I believe so.
All right, all of you head out. Megumi rather clankily and loud. You can actually roll a stealth if you want to be not so clanky.
Sure. I do have that. No.
Yes, and silent
Maximum
movement.
clank.
Silent
Huge
movement
max.
would have done this, but no, you are maximum clank. You actually are making. You thought you could perhaps just make a little bit of clanking noise, but you're actually actively making more clanking noise by trying to not. And Vera actually looks over to you, and she says, "Must you do that on purpose?"
I'll just give her like the, cross face. Like, shut up. He can be stealthy because she's not carrying the loose pots and shit.
She is she is carrying sleeping bags and things though.
Yeah.
Well, you see Judas sitting on the side of the fountain, and he says, "Oh, that's a lot of you. Oh, I thought it was only a few, but all right, that's fine. Do you guys know the way? I've only been there a few times. It's kind of foggy. How did you find out about this anyway?"
Hey, Lawrence. Do you?
Oh, the birds told me. Right.
So he'll have to lead us.
All right. Well, he Judas starts walking to the forest path where you were, and then he steps over the railing, and he says, "Oh yeah, before we go in there, everyone keep alert. There are ocelots in these woods."
Oh yeah, Saffron mentioned something about cats.
He chuckles. Ah, cats, yes. If anyone sees any movement in the bushes or anything, let me know. And he looks specifically at Megumin making all the clanking. Try to keep it
Shut up,
down.
sir.
All right. And uh, Vera walks up to the front and uh, hands Judas a machete. It seems she took a spare one, and he says, "Oh, thank you. This will be." You really think ahead, don't you? And she just nods. Well, at least this will make up for the missed class in a way, I guess. He smiles, trying to lighten the mood. Well, let's go, everyone. Stick close and stay quiet if you can. And you all start to make your way through the woods. Uh, it is thick brush. There are uh, no pathways at all. Everyone give me a body check. Megumi, you will get a +2 because you have machete.
Oh yes. For once, things are going Megumin's way. Or Megumi. Yeah.
None of you
Oh.
trip or anything. Um, at some point, you, Megumi, you felt something jump on your shoulder, and you looked where it was, and there's a black cat sitting there. And it goes
Get off
meow.
me, you lazy bones.
He just looks at you and licks his paw. Judas looks over and he says, "Huh, well that's convenient." And then you just hear,
Oh, okay.
he's just
Is
sitting
he?
on your shoulder.
It's Max.
Yeah. Is he keeping an eye out for the ocelots?
If that's what you want to think he's doing, sure. Everyone who hasn't seen Max transform is just kind of like, oh, wow. And,
I don't remember. I think my character knows, right? Was this brought up?
No.
Not exactly.
No. Okay. Never mind then. I don't
There
know.
was like drops and hints of things, but not like a direct. Oh yeah, that's what he is.
Yeah. Okay.
Lawrence, kind of frowns a little bit when he sees the cat. If you roll a soul, you can see why.
Well, it's because yeah.
Unless you can figure it out on your own.
I mean, I can kind of guess.
Chiho is like, kind of perks up for the first bit of the day, since you've just been walking for about 30 minutes to an hour in the woods, and she's like, oh, that's really cool. That's really neat. And she goes up to Megumi and starts scratching the cat's chin, and he starts purring. And Chiho says, I wish I could turn into a cat.
Oh,
The Max just go smile. Well, he doesn't smile, but he meows. Also, uh, I believe I can now show this to everyone. Put this in your journal. All right, there you go.
No.
It is under students.
Oh, okay, right. Cat.
Cat form.
Oh my god. Terrible.
His emerald green eyes almost glow in the low light of the forest. And Sora, he's complaining a lot. At some
About?
point, just everything. The terrain, there's bugs getting on him. It's hot.
Oh, I guess we should have thought about repellent. Oops.
Should have. Yeah, Sora says indignantly. And at some point, he's just like, you know what? I've had enough of this. And you see him just start to slowly float above the ground.
Huh.
Uses its E-peen.
Yes.
And He is now unimpeded as he's walking. Chiho stumbles a few times over roots and just kind of laughs it off like, haha, I'm so clumsy. And she'll just do a subtle sigh after everything. But it takes a long time. You guys are going through the forest. Mm. Mm. All right, so everyone go ahead and give me a body check.
Alright. Close all the other sheets. Body. Damn it. Also, I'm way down. But damn it.
I'll give Miss Yor over here. He gets 2 rolls since he's using 2 different
Nice.
senses. Just enough. Just enough. Alright, so all of a sudden Judas stops and holds his hand up and then puts his hand on his finger and gets down lower. Everyone kind of stops and gets down too, looking around. He just sits there for a second and you see his ears kind of twitch. Actually, also, Max gets a roll. He doesn't hear anything. He's also just looking around. Or wait, was that Cat? That was not Cat.
You used the wrong form, buddy.
I used the wrong form. Here we go. That's the right one. He also gets 2 rolls.
Even better.
Yeah, he's
Wow.
kind of oblivious. He doesn't.
He doesn't care.
He's enjoying a nap. Actually, he's asleep on on Megumi's shoulder.
He's about to care though.
Judas Judas points to a tree, and he whispers softly, or he just kind of points to the tree and puts his hand on his finger. Go ahead and everyone give me another body roll.
I'm even more oblivious.
Karu and Megumi, you see a faint outline. It's really hard to see up in a tree of a yellowish pattern. It blends in really, really well. The thing you notice though is some light shimmer through the trees and just 2 big eyes shimmer with light in the darkness of the tree. Seems like someone's watching you.
I'm going to carefully draw my boken.
You also see Vera pull out her kunai. And
I'll stop clanking. I mean, I'm obviously standing still.
yeah.
Clank, clank, clank.
And Judas whispers to everyone, just be low and be quiet. It shouldn't. It's just watching us. And you guys continue. Do you guys continue?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. Well,
Yeah.
I'll wait for someone else to lead, but yeah.
You're around there. You're at the base of the mountain. The sky is, it's not nighttime, but under this thick canopy, it sure feels like it.
Feels like it. Yeah.
I'm actually going to move you guys over to here.
Nice.
That's basically all you see. And it's hard to not make noise. The only one who's really successful is actually Megumi. Give me another stealth roll.
Taking on me. Down. No.
Vera is very quiet.
Nope.
You are still clanking.
I clankle.
Judith,
Clankle my ankle.
Judas turns to you and puts his hand on his mouth, a finger on his mouth, looking directly at you.
Oh my gosh.
Grr.
Sora isn't making any noise besides this like.
He's an owl right now.
The purring from the cat stopped, and let's see, forest and nature. Here we go. All right, can you guys hear that? Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
perfect. Messing with sounds. Okay. There's movement and bird song everywhere in this forest. It's amazing that Judas even picked this cat up, especially with how well it's concealing itself. You proceed slowly. You can tell he's going slow, so Megumi isn't clanking. And it doesn't seem like the cat is doing anything. Then all of a sudden you see a ruffle in the tree. Go ahead and give me another body if you guys want.
Oh shit.
Alright. Alright.
Hey, don't.
Karu, the ocelot, isn't there anymore.
Okay.
You couldn't get a good estimate of its size or anything, but
Because it's
you,
pretty far and there's a lot
yeah.
of foliage.
But you assume this was the thing he was talking about.
Mhm.
It's not there anymore. You don't see where it went or anything. You can roll another body to see if you see where it went, but it's not there anymore.
You know what? Might as well. I'll see if I can. Well, maybe not it specifically, but at least if there's something else. Because there might be more than one. I don't know. Nope.
No, it's just not there anymore.
It's not there.
Lawrence whispers, softly. It left. I think it left. The birds aren't scared anymore.
That's good.
Judas says, "Okay, let's go and let's try to be silent." I think we're going the right way. He licks his finger and holds it up in the air. This way? I'm gonna do a roll for him. Yeah, this way. It's this way. And he starts leading you. a couple more hours pass, or at least it feels like hours. The growth gets thicker, then it gets lighter, then it gets prickly, and you feel yourself get scratched up. Then it feels soft. And then there's grass. And then there's not so much grass. It is hard work. Megumi, give me a body.
Like this. Fuck this. The city is better.
The city is better. Done with the forest. Done with nature.
Okay. You are sweating and you are tired. You look over to Vera and Judas beside you, and Vera is also sweating quite a bit. Let's see how Judas is doing. Judas is he's sweating, but he's not panting or breathing heavy, unlike you two. And he looks at you guys and says, "Do you guys want to take a break?" He looks out
Yes.
of all of you.
Putting
That's
him
yes.
out immediately.
Yes.
Just a sense.
The cat jumps off of your shoulder and stretches.
Oh yeah, that cat worked hard, huh?
Meow.
That wasn't in character.
That oh.
Okay.
My character thinks that's just a maybe slightly weird but normal cat, so they wouldn't have said anything.
Oh, you still think it's a cat? Just a cat?
As far as I know.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
he was behind you when he transformed, I guess.
Yeah.
Nothing personnel, kid.
So my character, as far as I know, doesn't know that that's Max. So still just thinks it's a normal cat. So I didn't think anything of it. But
Well, Max is
Meta.
not here. You look around and notice Max isn't here.
Okay. I think we're missing someone, guys.
Who?
Max.
Lo-
He's nowhere around here. Did we lose him in the forest?
Chiho is counting like 1, 2. No. No, we're all here. I'm pretty sure anyway.
What?
Who are we missing?
Max.
No, Max is right there. She points at the cat. And you just see the cat look up at you, Akiko, and go, "Meow."
Max is the cat?
Yes. Max is the cat.
Oh. Oh, okay.
It kind of wags its tail and
get
paws
Sid
at the
didn't occur to me.
ground.
That you actually didn't know that.
No, Has he been just resting this whole time?
Yep. Stop me from kicking a cat. I say that out loud.
The cat hisses, looks at you, all right, and
I
then
hiss
I'm gonna
back.
the cat hisses again, hissing back at you, and goes to run up a tree. Finds a tree and runs up it, and it does it quickly,
Like really fast.
like a cat up a tree.
I'm gonna put down the bag.
No. We don't want to
And-
start up too much rustle. We'll end up getting other cats we don't want.
You say that as I throw a pot
A pot.
Yeah.
Okay.
high as I can.
Oh, he actually
Just
has
a little
some.
target.
He has a special thing for this. Let's see what it was.
Avoid shoes and pots.
Now he gets a
Special-
plus
wait,
1 to defend.
Dodge specialization like old shoes and pots.
Ah, you
That's
nail
not very
him.
good.
You nail him.
Yes!
Let's see if he can hold on.
This isn't animal abuse if he's a human. This is baka abuse.
Oh, he just barely hangs on to the tree. You hit him with the pot, and you hear "Rah!" and it just grabs onto the tree.
that's plenty enough to like settle me down. Like if you guys interfere, I'm kind of satisfied that I nailed him with a fucking pan.
I mean, secretly, Akiho thinks he
Roll,
deserved it, but won't say
roll,
anything.
roll a body.
Oh,
Wait,
for
well, actually, no. No, what is your body stat?
3.
3. Okay, he takes 6 damage.
Tail. Good. Not dead. He'll remember to pull his weight. Keep forgetting that he turns into a cat. Doesn't help.
He, you see him sitting on the tree and like using his paw to stroke where you hit him with the pot, and he looks hurt.
Good. I know somebody could probably patch him up or he could get over it, but I just want him to have a bruise on a big bruise that sticks with him when he transforms back. Gave him a lump.
All right, all of you basically sit down for about 10 or 20 minutes, and you rest yourself back up. There's another rustling in the bushes.
Roll to spot it, I suppose. It's a body.
You know you heard the rustle. It gave itself away with the rustle, but
Oh my
you can
gosh.
try to see if you know exactly where it is.
I don't think it. I think it's literally impossible for me to
I'm
beat
gonna
that.
fail.
It's a
I'll see how close I get, but
it is a
I choose to
19.
fail because I'm putting the pot back.
Oh, gosh, there's no way.
that is the best roll I've done so far in searching. But no,
Max Cat has quite the advantage on this, him being in a tree, but he's still
Still bad.
he knows the general area of where it might be, but he's a cat, so
Yeah.
you see him watching an area of the trees though. And let's give one more roll. He doesn't either.
so we hear rustling in the bushes surrounding us, but no one can pinpoint it.
Let us give good old Lawrence a chance.
This is predator level shit.
He
Predator
neutraled.
level.
Get to the chopper.
No.
I ain't got time for pain. That's another one I can say.
He does not. So all of you hear this rustling, so there's a tense moment. And Judas says, maybe we should get moving. Okay. There's another rustling in the bushes. Closer now.
Possibly, guys.
Yeah.
You hear a slight growl maybe? Just but then it fades away in the bushes. Shuffle again.
Oh, these kitties want to play, do they? Like, already might.
Not trying to provoke them.
Yeah, but it looks like they want to.
Oh, that's getting loud. Okay, let me turn that one down.
But it's getting intense. This is
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
getting tension.
Yeah.
the peak.
Judas says, they're just watching us. stalking us. And there's more, and there's never just one.
Where you can tell there's one, there's usually 3 more hiding surrounding you.
Well, no, one normally goes and gets the rest of the pack for who knows how many there could be. They're very social. Very smart. Just keep an eye out. Maybe if we look big and threatening enough, our numbers will be scare them off.
Kind
But-
of smiling in a strained way. Speak for yourself. I don't think I'd really do the threatening.
At this
Lawrence,
point, I guess
Judas
keep going
says,
now.
and Lawrence just literally jumps whenever he says that. Like, yeah. Have your friends keep an eye out from the sky. Oh, yeah. Why didn't I think about that before? And you see a few birds flutter out from the trees. And you guys continue to make your way. Judas says, Don't straggle behind now." It's been about you've been in this forest about 3 to 5 hours now. It's getting dark, but finally you start to see a clearing, and you hear Judas say, I think we're here. And let's see, I think I don't have any waterfall sound effects. However, I do have rain, so I will use a light rain as the waterfall sound. You look up at the sky, and at some point, you don't remember when, but it started getting dark out. There are faint stars finally coming into the night sky, and before you walk in front of you, or before you see a beautiful waterfall crashing down into the ocean. There's a beach there. Out in front of it, it seems like you've made it.
We're here. Us anyway.
Judas says, I'll go ahead and I'll start setting up camp. He points over there. About 30 minutes go by, and Judas shouts out, "Did anyone bring the fire kit?" And Isabella walks over and says, "It's okay, I've got it." And you see a little spark come out from her fingers. And the fire starts. What do all of you do? The sun is setting. You are on the beach.
Pretty.
And the moon is starting to come up.
There we go.
With a beautiful waterfall in the background. Oh, is that a waterfall noise?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Took me a second to find one, but at
What
least
are...
one that was shorter than 3 hours, because
right.
apparently it won't play songs longer than 3.
Yeah. Vera is helping Judas set up the tents. Isabella is just staring into the fire. Much in the same expressionless expression she's had previously. It's unsettling, as always. And the sun is disappearing from the horizon. And whatever you guys want to do.
Well, is there? What does the waterfall look like? Does it look like it has like kind of a cave it's coming out of, or like does it have an overhang?
No, it's coming from an overhang about 50, 40 feet up.
Okay.
And
Let's
it's a large gushing waterfall coming from the side of the island out. And I can actually now reveal to you where the waterfall is on the map. As soon as I get into my GM overlay.
So how late was it again? You said the sun set, so it's pretty
The
dark.
sun has set. It is probably around 7 or 8 at night.
We should probably just set up camp for now, and then have a late dinner, and wake up and go to bed for the night.
Yeah, because I mean, as much as we'd like to do a thing, we're probably exhausted.
Yeah, we'll have to do
Yeah.
it in the morning.
Judas says it's a good thing we got out of the forest while we could. The ocelots won't follow us onto the beach, and the night is their time. Max is a human again, and he's just been sitting next to the fire. And he says, "So, when are we gonna eat?"
Of course,
What? I'm.
roll my eyes.
He
Once
said,
we've finished setting up camp, the sooner it gets done, the sooner we can eat.
"Well,
I'm not setting the food down.
Judas says, well, I'm about finished. You guys can set up any tents you like, or pick any tent you like. These tents look like basic 2 to 3 person tents, but there seems to be enough for everyone.
enough for one for every person? Or
Yeah,
like
one for every
just-
person.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I don't set down the bags of food I have, and so I just continue to hold those. I don't know how successful I'd be at putting up a tent myself, but
I'll have to just assist, maybe like help hammer something, but that's it. Then
Yeah.
tear up.
I'm not going to do it until at least everyone. I won't set the bags down until at least everyone else's is set up.
Okay.
All right, and I'm setting up a little map. I don't know if it will be done though, but it will be there for when you guys are ready.
Okay.
Well, guys, this is as good a time as any to call the session.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry, it's 11:30 here.
Yeah.
Oh man.
All right, well, I guess we'll see what adventure has in store on your next morning on this beautiful Luv-Luv glittering paradise island.